Do you want to wake up refreshed after a good night's sleep, feeling full of energy, ready and raring to tackle the day ahead? In this video, I'm sharing 9 tips for a better night's sleep so that you wake up well rested. I'm Natalie Mayer, productivity coach at All in Good Time. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the weekly content to help you increase your productivity by getting more done more easily in less time as you juggle work, family and home, as well as find time for yourself. Scientific research is increasingly showing how bad a sleep deficit is for decision making, for body function and overall well-being. It isn't an optional extra, it is essential. Most parents set bedtimes for their young children because we recognise the impact it has on their mood and on their decision making the next day if they don't get enough sleep. But are you treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding, or do you keep pushing yourself, working on through the evening, only finally crashing into bed when you're nodding off in the middle of doing a task? You already know that you're going to be tired the next day, as there aren't enough hours before your alarm clock is going to be nagging you to get up. Not to mention the fact that you spend much of the night tossing and turning as your mind keeps chewing over the problems you are still trying to solve and the tasks that need to be done. Compromising on sleep is a false economy, as it takes you longer to do tasks, you create lower quality work, you make more mistakes and then need more time to go back and correct them. So here are 9 tips for a better night's sleep so that you can wake up well rested and ready to embrace the day with energy. Tip 1 is to commit to a bedtime. I know what time I like to start the day, and I know that I need a minimum of 7 hours sleep to be functioning well throughout the day. So it's a simple calculation to work backwards to my lights out bedtime. Your ideal start time and ideal number of hours of sleep will be specific to you. Recognise and reflect your own personal circadian rhythms as much as you can within the constraints of any externally driven commitments in your day, but come up with a lights out bedtime. Tip 2 is to create a bedtime routine. It isn't as simple as just putting down what you're doing, throwing yourself into bed and closing your eyes. Quality sleep with the right amount of deep sleep is essential. If you spend much of the night in a light sleep, frequently waking and worrying about things, then you are not going to be waking up refreshed in the morning. So create a pre-bedtime routine that builds in enough time to wind down and also signals to your body and brain that sleep is next on your agenda. Maybe potter about to tidy up a bit, set out your clothes for the next day, clean your teeth, etc. This pre-bedtime routine needs to start early enough to wrap up in time for your lights out bedtime. The third tip is to avoid caffeine and alcohol. Alcohol may well make you feel drowsy and allow you to drop off more quickly, but the quality of sleep that follows just drops away substantially. Wherever possible, find another way to help you wind of an evening. And caffeine can stay in your system for up to 6 hours, increasing how long it takes you to drop off in the first place and reducing the amount of restorative deep sleep. So ideally, eliminate it from your day at least 6 hours before bedtime. So for the first few days, this might be tough because you're used to using it to help you maintain your energy. However, if you have a good night's sleep, you won't then be as reliant on caffeine as you will be well rested. Maybe start by eliminating it 3 hours before bedtime and gradually move it back by an hour every few days until you hit that 6 hour mark. Tip 4 is to have a clear end to your workday. The temptation to do just one more thing can be strong. So set a time when you will clock out and transition into time for yourself. Finish your day with enough time to relax and unwind. But before you finish for the day, take a few minutes just to recap the current day. Capture your thoughts from the day so that you can wrap up any loose ends or make a note of them to deal with the following day. Without this little ritual, you'll find that the open loops play on your mind for the evening. Either that or your mind starts jumping ahead to thinking about the next day, wondering what you ought to be doing. But if you've already thought this through as you close out your workday, then your mind can switch off for the evening. But if you've already thought this through as you close out your workday, then your mind can let go of this instead of waking at 3 a.m. stressing about it. Tip 5 is to turn off electronic devices. Electronic devices have a double impact. If you are still working, then you aren't giving your brain time to wind down and settle. And secondly, they emit light from the blue end of the spectrum, and the body's natural circadian rhythms are set to respond to the changes in natural light. And the amount of blue light that naturally occurs decreases as we head into the evening. But if our screens are pumping out, then our bodies don't get the signal to start regulating the hormones that induce sleep. So try and make sure that you turn off your screens at least 30 minutes before bedtime, preferably 60 minutes. Tip 6 is to have a hot bath or a shower because our body temperatures naturally dip at night. So if you raise your body temperature by taking a hot bath a couple of hours before bedtime, then the steeper drop in body temperature at bedtime is more likely to put you into a deeper sleep. A shower will suffice, but is less effective. Tip 7 is to avoid bedtime procrastination. Sometimes the inertia of being slumped in front of the telly or the iPad can cause you to avoid making the effort to just get up and go to bed. You know how it goes. Just one more episode, one more page, one more link, one more video. Finding the willpower to hit the off button can be challenging. It's the end of the day and you're tired. Absolute ideal conditions for a decline in self-control. Set limits ahead of time so that the decision is made before you hit the point where your willpower has upped and left for the day. Tip 8 is to make your bedroom dark and cool. A dark room sends a clear message to your brain that it is time to sleep. Whilst different people have different preferences on the exact temperature that's ideal for them, the general consensus is that somewhere between 16 and 18 degrees is best. That's what suits most people. And then finally, tip number 9 is considering about your last thoughts for the day. Once you get into bed, there should be no more thought of work. If you are going to read, make sure it's for pleasure rather than business related. Ideally, read a paper book or an e-reader that doesn't emit blue light. And if you absolutely have to use a phone or a tablet, then make sure it has an app that reduces the amount of light, something such as Twilight. You might choose to journal at this point in the day as an extra way to get any last lingering thoughts out of your head. Captured on paper, you can always highlight the things that you want to pick up on in the morning, but your mind can relax knowing that it is captured in a way that you can easily come back to without needing to remember it in the meantime. And finally, just take a few moments to think of all the things that you're grateful for. You might choose to write these down, but what better way to drift off to sleep than focusing on the positive from your day? So let me know in the comments, do you think that you get enough sleep at the moment? What stops you from getting the amount of sleep that you would like? What could you do to improve your sleep? If you found this video useful, then please make sure you hit the like button and let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was. Please do share this video with someone you know who would find it useful, and also check out my free productivity resources library or go and watch the latest Tuesday training workshop. Links for both are in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.